Sticking with tech, we're also digesting everything we heard from the CEOs of Facebook, Google, and Twitter at a marathon House hearing yesterday focused on online misinformation. Lawmakers hit the executives hard on their content policies, use of customer data, and how much children might be using their services. For more on all that, let's bring in Illinois Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. She serves on the Energy and Commerce Committees, co-chaired yesterday's hearing. Just first, great to have you, Congresswoman Schakowsky. But first of all, do you feel any? I watch what's happening. Do you ever feel sorry for these guys because it's such a huge job and such a difficult, intractable thing to try to monitor everything that's happening? Do you have any compassion for them and what we're trying to do here?
Not a bit. All the rules have been working in their favor. They've had pretty much a free rein. Some people like to say that, it's like having a get out of jail free card because there is virtually no liability for the kind of harboring of organizations like QAnon or the violence that we saw at the Capitol, or the misinformation about vaccines. And it's time, and that was really the takeaway message that we left to these czars of the internet,
right.
that their time of self-regulation is over. And we're going to be doing something. And by the way, speaking of Amazon, they have no responsibility for fraudulent products that are sold and delivered to your home or dangerous products. While they weren't there yesterday, we are looking at having them have some responsibility to vet all the vendors that are online, because, they can sell anything and it could be harmful to yourself or to your children when it arrives. So we're taking a very hard look at this, and there's going to be a number of bills that pass that rein them in and hold them liable and responsible. And so I don't feel sorry for them at all.
But what you're asking them to do is difficult, and to try to figure out. You look at the country, Congresswoman, and I know that you'll say that there's definitive facts on each side that you can point to, but there's also gray areas everywhere. How would you like to be the person that has to decide exactly what is suitable and what isn't, and talking about billions of things that they need to pour over to find out what's happening? That's why I meant, why don't you feel like, not sorry, but just to understand what a major task and what a difficult task it is, considering that not everyone feels as you do that A or B is definitely just out of line, C is okay, D is not. I mean, that puts politicians in a weird position. I don't want Democratic politicians or Republican politicians deciding what is suitable for me to see. My word, we've seen what happens on the downside when the people get banned from Twitter. They don't even know what they said half the time.
Well, there does have to be, I think, a third-party referral that could look at if people are bounced off. I totally agree. And this is not about protecting the First Amendment. This is about protecting basic community standards, like making sure that violence isn't there, that the kind of hate speech that is clear, and that the companies themselves can set their community standards, but they have to be enforced, which they have not been. When the Decency Act was first passed for communications, the internet was just beginning, and they had a free rein to put anything up there. Well, those days are really over, because we've seen the harms. Yeah. We've seen, they say that children under 14 need to be protected, but they really don't have any mechanisms that make sure that our kids are protected. Okay. We heard from Republicans and Democrats. It was like magic. This issue brought us all together. I mean, the kinds of concerns about the internet were bipartisan.
Yeah, that's the bright spot here, is that we do see both sides at least talking about how to handle this. But it's difficult. And Congresswoman, we appreciate your time. We're almost at 9 o'clock straight up. You cannot believe what happens to us if we go beyond that. Congressman,
Okay.
I really appreciate. I'll get canceled. We appreciate your time, Becky. Have a great weekend. Make sure you join us. All of you next week. Squawk on the Street is next.